Hello there and welcome to another A Star to G briefing. Today we're going to look at the school performance tables which were released yesterday, 26th of Jan 2012, and try and just think about what some of those things might mean and what we can use them for and what we need to be prepared for. So the press release came, lovely title from the DFE once more, new data reveals the truth about school performance. The truth about school performance. And it's trying to get a real understanding and trying to put over what these school performance tables are for, but it's done it in a really heavy-handed and rather clumsy kind of way. But what do you expect? So they're not league tables, they're performance tables. Personal bugbear here, I hate the term league tables. This is where these school performance tables are taken by the media or whatever and ranked into order and try to figure out the best schools and the worst schools using some lines of data within this data set. And it's fairly horrible, and I've already seen online a head teacher trying to defend herself because her school came very, very low in these performance tables, and but there are contexts and all that kind of stuff. Every school's got stories to tell, and on data, I'm afraid, just doesn't equate to good journalism. It equates to data, and journalists much rather have subjective things like best and worst. So here's a set. I have printed out a set of data to have a quick look at. This is just one average school. There's even data missing off the top there, all the stuff about where the school is and geography and so on and so forth. That's missing. I've left that off the top. This is just a random school, a secondary school that I've printed off, and it's got all the data. Cohort information at the top there, key stage for exam results, key stage for progress, average point scores, key stage for exam entries, narrowing the gap, which is the section that looks at disadvantaged learners. Then it's got key stage 5 stuff. These are key stage 5 exam results, year-on-year comparisons, average point scores. Then it's got pupil absence. Then it's got spending, this is quite interesting, and the very bottom data set here that I've got is the school workforce, which includes a line of the average salary of the teachers within the school. And at this particular secondary school, 38,900 is the average salary of the teachers there. Well, you can do quite a lot with that. If you look at the percentage of achieving 5+ A Star to C GCSEs, 52% at this school, and the average teacher gets 38. The academy down the road here, of course, the percentage is 30%, and the teachers get 41 grand. So you can prove from that, can't you, Mr. BBC, that academies aren't any value for money. They're too expensive and they don't achieve. Easy to make stories up, I think, from data sets. So there's 230 lines of data here from 46 last year, and it includes things like that section on disadvantaged and that section on ebacc. The ebacc says 17.6% did the ebacc in 2011, they didn't have to, up from 15.6% in 2010. Very small percentage, in fact, and you might not identify the ebacc line as a line that your school should prioritise on. Maybe your school needs to prioritise on the A Star to C 5 at A Star to C line, because that's the first line of the data, and by the time you get down to the ebacc line, most parents will have turned off and got confused. So, you know, you choose which metric you want to go for, I think, and work on it. A term that comes up in a press release, which is interesting, is this word floor. And the floor has got 3 things that you need to do. A school is below the floor if 35% don't get A Star to C in English and maths. And that the distance travelled from Key Stage 2 to Key Stage 4 in English is lower than the national average. And maths is lower than the national average. If you've got those 3 things, your school is said to be below the floor, and all sorts of fire and brimstone and horrible things happen to you if your school falls below the floor. And the floor goes up. So this year, last year it was 35%. The 2012 figure is 40%. You've got to hit 40%. And by 2015, it's 50%. So the push is, if you keep going, keep increasing, keep growing. Now that's the target that is quite painful. The ebacc target is a lot less painful, and you aren't judged quite so harshly with the ebacc being below the floor and everything. So A star to C, English and maths, and making sure that the national average growth is better than you're better than the national average in those areas is seriously a priority. So there you are. That's the league tables. Here they are. There's going to be an interesting debate, I think, coming up about what you can do with this data. I've had a conversation at a conference the other day with other educational consultants who were saying that they wanted to set up some form of portal where parents and learners and teachers can drill into the data and make some other kind of judgments and use it as some form of data set and income generation tool to try and get some more information out there to parents. Well, it's going to be interesting to see whether this data actually supplies all that. It looks quite complex data, and I'm not sure whether that information is really that clear to parents. This kind of stuff I think teachers and head teachers know about. Parents and kids in particular, this is all a bit impenetrable. Anyway, let's see what happens with it. It's all very interesting stuff. Let's call them school performance tables, and please stop calling them league tables. So with any luck, I'll see you very soon. Cheers.